For a long time, I wanted to discuss this topic, and I think now's the right time to talk about it. As a man, in your relationship with a girl, by the second day at the latest, you should start introducing touch, like holding her hand, putting your arm on her shoulder, and so on. Sometimes you might want to touch her, but she'll remove your hand. That's completely normal. Don't react to it, just wait for the right moment and try again. No big deal, it's completely natural. That's the first rule of touch. Second rule, don't overdo it, especially at the beginning. I know some guys who by the second date want to hold the girl's hand all the time. No, you should touch, then remove your hand, wait a bit, then touch her again briefly before removing your hand again. There's a situation that can happen. You try to touch her, but she removes your hand, and after a while she touches you instead. In this case, please don't get too excited and cling to her like you were just waiting for this chance. Anyway, that's the topic of touch in brief. Let's continue with our topic. Imagine you wanted to kiss her, but she turned her face away and didn't agree. The same principle applies again. Don't show any reaction. Stay calm, act natural. You're like a stone. Don't show any response. Don't ask her why she didn't let you kiss her, and don't go home and start sending her messages asking if there's a problem or why don't you want me to kiss you. Remember, you don't need her. Look, when a girl understands you don't need her, that's when you've won her. Remember this golden rule for life. When a girl knows you don't need her, you win her. Don't get upset, don't get angry, and don't show any reaction. Also, if she comes to your place, stays for a while, then wants to leave, meaning she doesn't want to stay with you, do the same thing. Let her leave. Don't show any interest. There's only one situation where you should react and stop a girl, and that's when she's disrespectful to you. If she insults you, cusses at you, or acts disrespectfully, that's where you stop her and don't let it continue. However, if you ask her to go somewhere and she says no, that's not disrespect. That's okay. You shouldn't show any reaction. What I've been explaining to you from the start is related to small daily interactions and how to handle them. Now, let's move to the second level of non-reactivity. As a man, I'll discuss this level briefly because I've already talked about it before. Never change based on a woman's request. In your relationship with a woman, she might ask you to change certain things about yourself, like your hairstyle or how you dress. You should never listen to her or change anything unless you're truly convinced. Since I've talked a lot about this topic, I often get a recurring question. What if a girl really wants you to change something about yourself, meaning she doesn't like something about you and wants you to change it? Listen to me carefully, my brother. I'll give you golden advice. If a girl isn't attracted to you and doesn't like something about you, she won't even bring it up or talk to you in the first place. A girl who isn't attracted to you will try to spare your feelings because she's a compassionate creature who cares about others' emotions. But once she's attracted to someone, she becomes more critical and starts pointing things out. This is her way of testing his strength to see if he's a strong, high-value man. That's why if a girl asks you to change something about yourself, don't do it. Tell yourself, this is who I am. If you want me, great. If not, bye. This is one of the signs that a girl is attracted to you and has started developing feelings for you. When you notice a girl criticizing you or asking you to change something about yourself, know that she likes you. Don't get angry or upset. It's actually a good sign. I'm going to listen to a secret that'll make any girl, no matter who she is, unable to resist you. I call this secret the stone technique. This technique is about being like a stone. Let me first explain the concept to you, then we'll move to practical application so you fully understand. Imagine you walk up to a stone and start yelling at it or getting angry. What does the stone do? Nothing. Imagine you hit it hard. What does it do? Nothing. A stone is something that doesn't react. No matter what you do to it, it always stays in place. To save you time and get straight to the point, I want you to be someone who doesn't react. And don't worry, I'll show you how to demonstrate this to a girl with examples, so bear with me. When a woman is looking for a man, she's looking for someone who's capable of surviving. Like I always say, even though we live in the modern world today, we still carry the mindset of our primitive ancestors. For a woman to ensure her survival and the survival of her children, she needs a man with the ability to survive. This concept has more details and we'll dive deeper into it in future content about how to attract women. Anyway, One of the most important traits a man must have to be a survivor is self-control. He shouldn't react to anything. Our primitive ancestors lived lives full of shocks, and if someone reacted too much and easily lost their cool, they couldn't survive. Today, life has changed, and we no longer face the same pressures as before. However, women still carry this gene that looks for a man who doesn't react. This is something women don't feel or realize consciously, but it exists in their subconscious. That's why you often find girls attracted to those movie characters with cold behavior. And if you ask me about a quality in men that women can't resist, I'd tell you it's non-reactivity. So now the question is, how do you show her you don't react? If you've been following along, you already know that women are emotional creatures. If you want her to become attached to you, you need to trigger a whole range of emotions in her. One of these emotions is the feeling of non-reactivity. If she doesn't feel it, she won't be attracted to you. So how do you do this? Let's start small and then gradually increase the level. When a girl starts talking to you, she likes to test whether she can influence you or change your behavior. For example, if you send her a message and she doesn't respond, then you send her another message, this shows you reacted to her silence. In other words, you couldn't withstand that silence. Now, this might seem like a normal thing to you and not a big problem, but girls are a bit silly. They see these things from an emotional perspective, something they have no control over. Anyway, simply put, if you sent her a message and she didn't respond, just relax. You asked her to go somewhere, meaning you wanted to invite her on the date. She said, "I don't want to go." Then you started saying, "Why don't you want to go?" Or you started saying, "No problem, we can go another time," and started talking too much. Or, "Fine, whatever, you think you're the only girl in the world? There are plenty like you," and so on. This will show her you're not like a stone and that this affected you. This will show her you're a reactive person. Remember what I'm about to tell you. If she doesn't want to go and you start asking her why or reacting, she'll never agree to go with you. By the way, never ask a girl the reason for any decision she makes regarding you. For example, in this case, if she says, "I don't want to go," don't keep following up asking why or what's the reason or trying to understand her decision and find a solution. Anyway, let's get back to the point. If a girl rejects a date, your response should be calm and reserved. All right, another time. You need to give her the feeling that she's not the only one in the world and that you're not too interested. When you do this, next time you invite her, she'll say yes and want to go with you because you didn't react. And remember what I'm telling you, this is the personality girls become attached to. Another example, imagine you're on a date with her and you touch her hand, but she pulls her hand away. That's okay, no problem. Don't show any reaction, just remove your hand and wait for another opportunity before trying to touch her again without getting upset or showing any disappointment. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't touch her at all or that if she pulls her hand away, you should stop touching her completely. Touch plays a huge role in building a connection between you and a girl.
And finally, the most important level in this content, which relates to a woman's personality. A woman's psychology is governed by two main factors. Hormones. A woman's hormones are constantly fluctuating, sometimes high, sometimes low. Emotions. As a man, you govern yourself with logic and reason, while a woman is governed by her emotions. For this reason, you can find a girl who likes a guy who smokes or behaves badly, but she keeps chasing him and can't resist him. These two factors make a woman's mood like a zigzag, constantly changing. Her life seems unstable, and every hour she might want something completely different. For example, right now she wants to go somewhere, but an hour later she wants to stay home. Another hour passes and she's angry for no reason. Suddenly she wants to eat Chinese food. Then she wants to have sex. After that, she cries without obvious reason. When you talk to her, you need to understand you're dealing with all these mood swings. You can send her a message and she responds, you go with her, sit in the park and have a good conversation. The next day, you send her another message and she doesn't respond. Maybe she doesn't feel like talking anymore. Maybe she wants something different, like sex or going somewhere. Or maybe she's angry and just wants to sit alone. A woman will always behave unpredictably. Sometimes she'll want to have sex, sometimes she'll want to test you, sometimes she'll want to create a problem, sometimes she'll want to laugh, sometimes she'll want to see you angry. You need to understand that as a man, when you talk to a girl, you're dealing with a mixture of moods and emotions. Now, imagine you're trying to control this mood. Think you'll be successful? Every time something new will appear. That's why the first thing you need to know is that you can't control a woman's mood. So how do you deal with her mood? The answer? Be like a stone. If a woman's mood is inconsistent, you must remain steady and stable. Don't change your mood to match her mood. Don't try to change her feelings. For example, if she's angry, don't try to cheer her up by taking her somewhere. If she's sad, don't try too hard to make her laugh or excessively comfort her. Don't go to her and ask, "What do you want me to do?" so you'll stop being angry. And don't get angry at her if she's angry. As a man, you're inclined to control emotions, but a woman isn't. Women love experiencing emotions in all their forms, so you need to let her feel these emotions while you remain happy and reserved. Now, you might ask, how do I deal with her when she's angry or sad? The answer, let her feelings pass. This is the rule I want you to fully understand. When you talk to a girl, it's natural to encounter moments when her mood is bad. If she's angry, don't try to change that feeling, just let her experience it, and it'll eventually pass on its own. You, however, must always remain calm. When a girl sees that her mood doesn't affect you and that you remain steady and consistent, she'll start noticing your non-reactivity. Her emotions and instincts will start feeling an extraordinary attraction to you. Even she won't understand why this is happening. By the way, this principle isn't something you should only apply when talking to a girl. It's also necessary when facing rejection in life in general. If you like going out and talking to girls, understand that every girl will react to you differently. Some will show clear interest in you, others will avoid you like you're annoying, and some won't care. But here's where the real test is. Here's where you'll reveal your true position on the social value scale. If a girl can bring you to a highly emotional state just by behaving a certain way or saying certain things, this means you're someone with high emotional reactivity. This also indicates that your sense of self-worth comes from an external source, in this case, girls. Simply put, this means how you feel about yourself is directly connected to the responses you get from a girl. If you get a positive response, you'll feel great. But the moment you get a negative response, you'll start feeling bad. You've given something external complete control over your emotional state. This directly kills attraction, because a girl doesn't want to be around a man she can easily manipulate or control. She doesn't want to be with someone who can't manage his own emotional state. A good example of this is how you handle rejection from women. If you take rejection personally and keep thinking about it for days after hearing a hard no from a girl at a bar, this means you're in a highly reactive state. But guess what? The reason you got that no was because the girl felt you were very reactive and that your sense of inner well-being completely depended on her. By being reactive, you showed her you view her as more valuable than yourself and that you need her approval to feel good. The key here isn't to try to change her reaction to you, but to learn to handle her reaction. So if a girl rejects you, understand she's just another girl. And if she rejected you, it doesn't mean every girl will do the same. Don't let it affect you at all.